What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So with today being a Thursday, I want to do my weekly Trading212 portfolio update where we'll see how my overall portfolio is performing. I also want to give an update in terms of taking profits, and thirdly I want to go through a second broker that I'm in the process of opening to invest further capital. So with all that being said, let's dive right on into today's video. So at this moment in time on Trading212, we still have 33 blue chip diversified stocks where we now have €10,739 overall. 8,685 of that is my own capital, and we're up €2,050 or 23.65%. For the past few weeks, I've said on numerous occasions that I do believe the stock market is currently in a bubble, and most people would probably agree with that, and definitely down the line there has to be a crash or a dip. So that's kind of why, and we can even see here on screen why that actually can be a good thing as well, because you can start loading up in cash now. Because, for example, which we'll see in a few seconds, some of my stocks are up over 100%. One that comes to mind is Goldman Sachs, which is currently up about 110%, which is insane considering that's a huge financial blue chip company. So again, we can even see here on the heading that this necessarily isn't a bad thing either if you're a long-term investor, because markets have to move up and down. That's part of the game, and that's how a lot of people make money, through volatility. So kind of in knowing this in advance, you can start loading up in cash, and that's what I'm planning to do as well. Start loading up in cash and wait for the right time when the markets do drop to start dipping in and dollar cost averaging down a lot of your positions, just like March of last year where people made a lot of money. Now obviously it's impossible to predict when the markets will crash, but again, my own personal kind of outlook on this is that I believe the bull run will continue for the next few months after the summer, once people start coming back from their holidays, etc., and start pumping in stocks in the winter, because a lot of the time the winter is when people invest a lot of their capital. And I do believe there will be a bit of a sell-off next year at the beginning of maybe January, February or March. But again, that's all speculation, that's just my own personal opinion. But for now, I'm going to just leave my own current investments as they are. Now, I was contemplating selling a lot of my investments to reinvest to take the profits. But again, as a long-term investor, that kind of just counteracts my whole kind of investing strategy, I suppose. So I am going to leave my profits, even though we're up €2,000 or 23.65%. I'm going to leave them ride. So eventually, if they do dip, I'll just take advantage and get in at a cheaper price. Or if they just continue on a bull run, well and good. It's a win-win situation either way. As there's another few things I want to discuss very briefly at the end of this video. We'll just go through my overall portfolio very fast, because again, there isn't a whole lot of updates. I just want to give the kind of most up-to-date version in terms of the biggest gainers and losers. So at this moment in time, 29 of the 33 stocks / ETFs are currently in the green. We can even see here, as an example, Alphabet is currently up just under 90%, one I'm very happy with here and certainly wasn't expecting, just like Goldman Sachs, because these are such huge, large cap blue chip companies that you don't really expect them to move this much. It's just a pity that we don't have as much invested. We only have about 1/5 of a share, but they're still up about €225. If we keep moving on down the line here, we can see the likes of Apple, where we have 2.69 shares, is up 33.8%. Again, I'm quite happy with that performance, considering it is, again, a blue chip company and one of the biggest companies in the world. Bank of America, one of my financial companies. Now all 5 of my financial stocks are doing very well at the moment, and this is one of them. It's up over 66%, which I'm very happy with. Then we have Barrick Gold, one that I will be dollar cost averaging into in the coming weeks. We have a very small position here, only €74, but we're down about 4%. So that does trigger my kind of intuition in terms of buying more, because we do like to invest further into stocks once they're down over 3%. So if it does go down even further, well and good, we're going to buy more. Again, it won't be anything crazy. I'll probably just buy another 3, 4, maybe 5 shares at a time, because slow, consistent dollar cost averaging is what makes all the difference as a long-term investor. As we continue on down, we can see the likes of ExxonMobil, which is one of my energy companies, one of 3, is up 73%. Again, I wasn't expecting a lot of these kind of bigger performance stocks. I was kind of expecting, before I started investing, maybe to get about a 10% return annually, just like kind of the main S&P 500 for an example. Facebook is up 43%, very happy there as well. We then have 2 more red stocks. Firstly, in the form of First Majestic Silver. Now we saw Barrick Gold a few seconds ago, which was down 4%. But this one is down 10.5, so again, ample opportunity here to dollar cost average over the coming weeks. And we also have a tiny position here, which makes it even easier to get a lot lower price or average cost, because it is down 10.5% since initially buying. We also have my worst performing stock as of late in the form of High Tide, which is a Canadian cannabis stock, down 26.6%. Now, if you've seen any of my prior videos on this stock, again, I made one yesterday, which I'll link in the description below. You know how kind of bullish I am on this stock going forward, and how much I believe it has so much potential. So I'm actually quite happy to see it down so much, because long term I believe it will be a lot higher. As we carry on down, we have another few 30, 40 and even 60% gains here. Firstly, we have JP Morgan Chase, one of my financial companies, up nearly 70%. Very happy there as well. If we keep going down here, we can see Microsoft is up over 40%, Nike is up 31.8, PepsiCo up 20, etc. And we can also see my fourth and final stock or ETF that's currently in the red is the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF, where we have over 50 shares. It's down about 4.3%. But again, as I said in prior videos, once it drops above 5 or 6%, I will start investing further within this ETF as well. And finally, the last 10 or so stocks, we can see the likes of PepsiCo up 33%. We have the likes of Realty Income up 22.9%. Again, pity we have such a small allocation of my funds here, but if it does drop, I'll start to load up there. We then have the likes of the two main ETFs across the globe in the form of the FTSE 100 up 26.4% and the Vanguard S&P 500 up 35%. Now, just actually while we're here, I have got a few messages from subscribers asking why they can't invest in Vanguard securities or instruments now on Trading212. So if you're a new investor, I don't believe you can invest in these securities or instruments, and I actually haven't a clue why that would be the case. So if you do know, please comment below, or if you are a new investor and cannot invest in these Vanguard funds, I'd be interested to know in the comment section below as well. We also then have the likes of VUSA, one of my worst performing financial stocks, is still up nearly 21%, so that's very good in my own opinion, so I'm happy with that. Walt Disney up 30%, and then we have the likes of Waste Management, another surprise, up 35%. So that's currently how my overall portfolio on Trading212 is performing, up 23.69%. So I'm very happy with this, or €2,057. So again, further on down the year, as we kind of approach the end of the year, I will be looking into selling some stocks maybe and buying straight back in. Now the main purpose of that is for tax purposes, because in Ireland here we're exempt for €1,270 on any given year. So that's kind of why I would be doing that. So again, you'll be paying 33% on any tax over $1,270 within a year. So I might even just sell up to $1,270 so to avoid paying tax and buy straight back in, which will avoid paying that amount of money at 33%. So again, that's for a video later on in the year. Now again, as mentioned in prior videos as well, I do want to start opening a second brokerage. Now I have been looking at two, so we'll have a brief look at those right now. The first broker I was looking into, and I have opened an account but have not deposited capital yet because I do want to look at the ins and outs of this brokerage before diving in, is Etoro, which we can see on screen here. Now a lot of people do use Etoro and have changed or switched from Trading212 mainly because of the conversion fees or the FX fees. So the kind of advantage of Etoro is once you invest here, you get your money straight into USD, so it's very handy. So there's no currency conversions of investing when you buy and sell, unlike Trading212. So again, I'm going to have a look around. I only opened this account literally about 15 minutes before making this video. So I might make a follow-up video on this in terms of my review, even though we haven't invested any capital yet. But I might look at the practice account for now and kind of see if it takes my fancy. But this is definitely one I am considering. I'd be very interested to know in the comment section below. I know a few subscribers have mentioned using this site before. So I'd be interested to know your pros and cons for using Etoro in comparison to Trading212. Another broker that I'm looking to is DeGiro. Again, I've mentioned this in prior videos and I have used this broker before. Now, I'm quite happy with this broker as well. However, you do have to pay commissions of about 50 cents a trade. Now, that is not a lot of money at all. But they do start to add up, especially with the pay per stock exchange you're using as well on an annual basis. So this would definitely be one of the more expensive discount brokers, if that makes sense, in terms of investing, especially with small amounts of capital. Now, another issue here is that you cannot buy fractional shares, which really hampers my kind of opinion on buying this or going into this brokerage, because I do want to buy fractional shares. So that kind of taking DeGiro out of the equation now. Whereas in Etoro and Trading212, etc., you can buy fractional shares. So as a new investor or even a long-term investor at dollar cost averages, fractional shares are key in my opinion. Now, I have asked you guys this question about 4 months ago. It's crazy how fast time goes. But again, 41% of the 115 correspondents suggested using DeGiro as my second broker, 16% said Etoro, 26% said FreeTrade, and 9% said Interactive Brokers. Now, I actually haven't looked into Interactive Brokers or FreeTrade at all, so I might actually look into those as well. Please comment below as well if you do use these brokers and if you have any kind of pros or cons for either of these or for any of the above as well. It would be very helpful in me picking my second broker to start investing my capital. You could also say as well, why don't I just continue using Trading212 continually? Now I will be keeping this broker open and I won't be getting rid of this €10,700 anytime soon. However, I do want to have a separate brokerage, or again I could probably make a pie here as well, but I do want to have a separate account for capital that I have earned, for example, through YouTube revenue, etc. Whereas on Trading212 I want to start using this and continue to use this for, let's say, my salary. So I do want to keep those entities separate. So that's kind of the main reason why I want to have a second broker or even another pie on Trading212. So that's pretty much the end of today's video. I just want to give an update on how my Trading212 portfolio is currently performing and kind of had a very, very brief discussion on my thought process behind opening a second broker. So thanks very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday and I will see you all in tomorrow's video.